Good morning, parents and students. The topic for today is about material changes. Before we start with our new lesson, did you know that all the things around us are called objects, and these objects are made from different materials? Now let's do some vocabulary. Heating, cooling, freezing, bending, boiling, and stretching. Let's repeat it again one more time. Heating, cooling, freezing, bending, boiling, and stretching. This group of words are the words that we will discuss in this lesson. Before we start with our new lesson, let's review about making objects from their materials. There are many objects around us. Some objects are made from one material, such as box, drinking glass, rubber eraser, paper. These products are made from only one material. We also have many objects that are made from more than one material by putting them together, such as shirt made of fabric and plastic buttons, short jeans made of metal zipper, metal buttons, and jeans fabric, umbrella made of plastic handle, metal, and polyester fabric. And lastly, we have the cupboard, made from wood, metal screw, and metal handle. Our lesson for today is about material changes, or we can call it changes of materials. When changing different materials, we need to use different processes. Example, we put the butter into the hot pan and it starts to melt. That is called melting processes. We put the water into the freezer and it becomes ice. That is called freezing processes. Different ways of changing materials. The first one is heating. Some materials change when we heat them or make them hotter. What does heating do to these materials? When we heat the egg and the bread, they start to cook, so we can eat them. When we heat the chocolate, the candle, the snowman, and the butter, they start to melt. The next process in changing of materials is melting. When we heat some things up, they begin to go runny. The heat makes some things melt, like ice cream, popsicle, ice cubes, and candle. The next step in changing of materials is boiling. When we heat up water so it is very hot, it begins to bubble. We have made the water boil. We use boiling water when we cook, like soup, noodles, or drinking hot tea. The next step in changing of materials is cooling. Some materials change when we cool them. We make them colder. What does cooling do to these materials? Cooling means the changing of temperature of that particular materials or objects. Example is the orange juice and the water. When we put them into the refrigerator, the temperature of the juice and the water starts to become cold. The next process in changing of materials is freezing. When we freeze something, we make it colder. We make it so cold that it changes from a runny liquid to a hard solid. The best example is liquid water change into ice. Another process in changing of materials is squashing. Yes, squashing. We can make things change shape by squashing them. Squashing is another term for molding, pressing. Yes, molding and pressing. As you can see in the picture, a girl who wants to bake a bread press the rolling pin on the dough. And another example is when we bake a bread, we need to mold the dough to make different shapes. The next process in changing up materials is stretching. We can make things change shape by stretching them. Another easy way or process in changing up materials is twisting. We can make things change shape by twisting them. The last process in changing up materials is bending. We can make things change shape by bending them. Now let's read the summary of our lesson. We have heating, melting, boiling, cooling, freezing, squashing, stretching, twisting, and bending. After you watch the video clip, you can scan the QR code to get your worksheet, print it out, and answer it. That is the end of our lesson. Thank you. Goodbye.